Should we do support characters or should we do some plot twists?
Let's do support characters.
Okay.
Let's just go in the way that it's...
That's in the box?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do them by drop, I guess?
Yeah.
So we got our 1-drops. Ooh, actually, we have a lot of 1-drops in the...
Yeah, the heroes have like 1,000,000 1-drops.
Okay. So... we've got... Let's start with Baby Groot. A 1 cost, 1/1 with 2 wounds. Not the best stats, but...
2 wounds isn't bad.
2 wounds isn't bad, but the 1/1 isn't great. But 1 drop is probably fine. I am Groot. Now I know this doesn't matter because you can't play Baby Groot with regular Groot, but his has a question mark. So it is technically, like, if it gets nullified, like I am Groot gets nullified, that takes care of all the I am Groots. Because they're all called I am Groot.
Yeah.
This is I am Groot question mark.
True.
Different.
Yeah. Different ability. Different power.
So, whenever Baby Groot gets powered up, I wish we had Call, but we don't. Put an extra 5 counters on him.
So he's going to end up with 6 counters overall.
So you play him on turn 1,
yeah.
happen to be able to power him up. That's a 7/7 on turn 1.
Yes.
He can almost fight the Hulk.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
And you know what? What if we had Baby Groot in our hand on turn 1?
Okay.
But we didn't want to play him.
Okay.
What if we wanted to wait till turn 2?
We can play it until turn 2 and play Heimdall.
Okay.
So Heimdall is a 1/0/1/1. So not the best stat.
Not the best stat.
Even worse than Baby Groot.
Right.
But he has one of probably one of the best abilities in the set.
Yeah. In the game, maybe.
Maybe. Keeper of the Bifrost. Build ability. Pay a blue. Pay a blue. Spend any number of resource points. So in this situation, we'll be paying 1.
Paying 1.
Search your deck for a character with that cost or less, and put it onto your side. So you don't technically recruit it. So if you have something that has to do with recruiting, it doesn't recruit.
For instance, Iron Man's blue ability. You don't draw a card off of.
Yeah, because you're not playing a card. But I mean, you just put it into play. So if you wanted to, like you said, we could wait till turn 2, save that Baby Groot in our hand, then we have the power up.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Heimdall has probably got one of the best abilities, just because if I'm gonna miss a drop, I would rather miss it by 1.
Yeah.
Just pay I'm gonna miss my 5 drop. I'd rather just play this and
get a 4 drop. Yeah. And it's the Spider-Gwen effect of deck thinning, and it's a card that doesn't have to come out of your hand, and it's an ability that can be used multiple times, and it combos well with these 4 cards as well.
Yeah. And here's the other thing: paying it blue for this ability, I don't feel bad discarding it because it's I played that character out of my hand.
Yeah.
So that seems fine. It's perfect.
And it lets you toolbox your deck a little bit. Yeah. If you didn't want to run just straight 4-ofs and 3-ofs.
You can run 1-ofs for certain situations.
Yeah.
Maybe, Jessica Jones is a bad example because A, you can't use her, and B, she's so good that you probably want to run multiple of her. But if
it was a Jessica Jones effect.
Right. And you're oh, I need this for only when I'm playing against this deck.
Yeah. Well,
now you have 5 copies of it in your deck, kind of.
Yeah.
But you're not eating up. These 4 copies of the 5 are also this tech card and this tech card.
Yeah.
Effects like this are really good in just any game.
Fauna Shaman was great in Magic.
Yeah, exactly. Now we have 4 one-of-a-kind characters. These guys are rather sweet, and they are all corresponding with a different MC. Which MC doesn't get one?
Star-Lord.
That's interesting.
And all the villains.
Well, and all the villains. So, let's start with General Ross. One of a kind. All these characters have one of a kind, so you can only have 1 copy of them in your deck. He's a 1 cost 2/2/1, so that's pretty average.
That's actually fairly aggressive stats for a 1-drop.
Those fine 1-drop stats. Help the green one. When a main character on your side named Hulk. Now Bruce Banner counts because he is AKA Hulk.
Yeah, he is AKA Hulk.
Attacks for the first time each turn. At the end of combat, ready him. So let's go. Hit you for 8, hit you for 8. I forgot that this guy, when we were talking about this guy, I forgot about this guy. What he did. That's pretty good, man.
That is not bad.
Let's take because again, most people's like the big ones that people fight and people are really familiar with are Thor.
Yeah.
Thor's best like turn one play arguably is Falcon, team attack, mobile back. I'm going to attack your Thor, crush him. I'm going to crush your Phoenix or Falcon. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
And would that get around? If you got if the first attack got thunk again, would you still ready at the end of that combat?
Ooh, actually, I don't know if you do because it's at the end of combat and combat gets canceled, so there's no like end of combat. Like when you're going through, there's different parts of combat, and the combat is one of those parts. So I think again would stop that.
Okay, that's good to know.
That is good to know. That's really interesting. Next, we have Happy Hogan. Again, one of a kind. A 1/2/1. So a little less good than Ross as far as stats go, but you're not playing any of these guys for their stats, really. We're relocating to a new facility. At the end of your turn, if Iron Man is your main character on your side, actually, it's really interesting. That like if you're playing like different formats, like some of these guys get really interesting. You may turn a face down location face up. So he is. So at the end of your turn, if you're playing Iron Man, you get to use 6-drop Iron Man's appear ability.
Yes,
because it's any location, not just a wild.
It can be wilds or basics.
That's pretty good.
And like, it's recurring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're able to keep them alive, which, I mean, level 1 Iron Man doesn't have flight, but level 2 Iron Man does.
Yeah.
That's just resources you're getting every turn.
And here's the other thing about these guys. All of them have really good effects that, like, draw the attention away from some of your other things. So some of your other stuff can, like, have time to build up because they
like, a lot of these have to be answered. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't just let an 8/8 just, like, run rampant all over your board.
Can't just get you every time, over and over again.
You can't just let them flip locations on every turn.
I have no idea how to say this guy's last name. So.
Selvig.
So Eric Selvig. Also one of a kind, 0/1. Our stats are getting worse. Like we're deteriorating. One of a kind, obviously. The stories I grew up with. When the main character on your side, named Thor, attacks, draw a card.
It's pretty good. Especially considering you have to attack to level him up.
Yeah. This one's probably the best one. Maybe this one. This one's really good too.
Listen, it's like choosing my favorite child out of these 4. They're all really good.
So, but drawing extra cards for essentially
phenomenal.
1 resource. Like, even if you get... I don't know. Like, this one's a little weird because, like, it has... The first turn just replaces itself. Yeah. But after that, like, then that's when you're really getting the value out of it. But, again... I love drawing cards, so I can't argue with that. Peggy Carter, we're going to gain some more stats back. So we're the flip side of Happy. We're a 2/1 with range, though. Yeah. So that's sweet. We got 1 wound. You were meant for more. If your main character on your side is named Captain America, this one is just so good. I'm sorry. Yeah. If the main character on your side named Captain America gets stunned, he doesn't get wounded. Yeah. So this 5 that we were talking about being a disadvantage...
can actually be like a 6 or a 7 if you're able to keep her up.
So,
one interesting thing about all these guys, though, outside of level 2 Iron Man, none of these MCs have flight.
So no one can protect their sidekick.
Yeah. So you have to run people with flight to protect them, which there's not a ton of flight in this set.
No, there's not. There's not.
But even if you get one of these effects off once, it's really good. And if you can get it off twice, good lord.
Good lord.
Good lord.
Yeah, those abilities are all great.
I just wish the villains had gotten that same sort of treatment, but they didn't.
No, but that'll be all right. I'm sure.
There's a 1-drop that sort of makes up for it, but
yeah. And like, I guess you get Mantis later, but she's a 2-drop, and she helps Ego. That's in like later set though. All right, 2-drops. We got Black Widow. I love both these cards. Yeah. I was before I get into this, I was like on the fence about this card, but like initially I just love this card, and now I've like started really like thinking about how this card like interacts with other cards, and I really like this one too. Yeah. So let's start with Black Widow. A 2-cost 2/5/1. Those are pretty decent stats.
Pretty decent. 2/5 is huge for a 2-drop.
Like that's awesome.
2/5 is gigantic.
Yeah, it's great. We like it. Infiltrate. Pay a red during the main phase. Choose an enemy player, to reveal their hand. Choose a card in it other than a character and discard it. So I can't take your later drops. I can take your locations.
Yep.
I can take your plot twists.
Yep.
I can take your equipment.
Yep.
Is there anything else?
I think
that's all that you need, though, right?
But yeah, especially taking a plot twist.
Depending on what you're playing against, man, that's huge.
And unless you see their hands, so you get information. You if it's your turn, you essentially have perfect information for the rest of that turn.
Yeah, I can look at your hand. Okay, I'm not worried about this plot twist. I'm not worried about this plot twist. So I'll just take this location for now, and now I know what plot twist to play around.
We've been using Thor as the example all day. You pay the red. Now you know that he's got an Earth's Mightiest and Unthinking in his hand.
Yeah.
So if you can just completely play around the Earth's Mightiest and Unthinking, you don't have to worry about him. You can just take one of his locations. You can take one of his blues.
It's actually really good to take locations away from decks like Kingpin.
Yeah. Where
maybe they've only got just enough locations to level.
Yeah.
You just pluck. That kind of sucks, man.
Yeah.
Again, anytime that I can mess with my opponent, I'm all in. So, next we have Rocket. He's a 2-cost 3/2 with range, which are 3/2 is pretty good stats for a range character.
It's not bad, yeah.
So, I'm gonna need a few things. Classic. Build phase. So when I first read this ability, I thought it was main phase, like the Rocket level 3. Mm-hmm. You choose an enemy player and 2 cards with different names from your discard pile. Your opponent chooses one of them to give to you, and the other one stays in your discard pile. So, initially I was like, okay, but again, I thought this was main phase. I was like, that's okay, not the best, they're always going to choose the lesser, but there's a lot of cards in other games that make your opponent, choose between 2 things, and there's never really a good answer.
Yeah.
The fact that this is a build ability, I don't know how relevant it is, that, sometimes if you're playing, because of things like Heimdall, you might be playing a variety of different characters. So it's turn 4, I don't have a 4-drop, but I have 2 different 4-drops in my discard pile.
Yeah.
I can be like, pay yellow, which one of these do you want me to have? Because the lesser of the 2 4-drops is still better than not having a 4-drop on turn 4, right?
Also, if you're in EMC and you're like, I don't have the resources to use my superpower this turn, but I have a wild and that color in my graveyard. I pay a yellow. Would you like me to have this wild that pays for the superpower, or this yellow that pays for that superpower? So I get what I want either way.
I get whatever I want, and we move on with our lives.
Or if I'm Hulk, right? Okay. And I pay the yellow on Rocket, and I say, do you want me to have this General Ross back, which is going to let my 8/8 attack twice this turn?
No, I don't.
Or do you want me to have this super powerful other card?
Oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah, what's the choice there?
Yeah. That's great. And the fact that it's a build phase ability means that you can immediately play that General Ross down. So, again, I think that might have been the thing that shifted my thinking of whether or not he's actually playable. Mm-hmm. Is he great? I don't know yet, but it'll be fun to find out. These both will be definitely fun cards to play with.
I mean, Scarlet Witch is just... Not Scarlet Witch. Black Widow is just huge.
Yeah.
She's a 2/5.
Yeah.
That's gigantic. If you're playing Loki, she could become a 5/2.
she just punch people in the mouth.
Yeah.
Take your money and then punch people in the mouth. Let's do some 3-drops. We've got 3 3-drops.
Speaking of people that are freaking huge.
There's some good stuff.
Well, 2 of these guys are huge.
Yeah, Nick Fury. Listen, Nick Fury is a 3/5 with range. Our 2-drop was a 2/5.
Yeah.
So I see where you're coming from with it. Her stats are pretty good. So let's go this way, I guess.
Yeah.
I've really been digging the idea of Captain America. If you're running green, he's probably at least worth playing 2 of maybe. Mm-hmm. Again, because that's if you're doing the Heimdall pick who I want kind of strategy. With 3-drop, 5/4 with range, or not with range. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
With 1 wound. He has leader, which is a very relevant ability.
Yeah.
Really good. His superpower works really well with leader. I can do this all day. So any combat, so even on the defense you can use this. You pay a green. This combat, if Cap gets stunned, he doesn't get wounded. There's a theme about Cap not getting wounded. So he just gets stunned, no wound. But then he recovers and he readies.
Yeah.
So he can do this all day.
Yeah.
I mean, he can only do it once per turn.
Yeah.
But like,
it's amazing.
It's
a Luke Cage ability
with an X factor.
With tough and X factor.
That's good. That's a lot of cards.
Yeah.
You pay 1 green for a lot of cards. I'm in. So.
And we finally have a Captain America, either one, that can win a fist fight with Agent Coulson.
Oh yeah, that was one thing that bothered you.
Yeah.
Because all the Captain Americas would lose, like just outright die to the shield support character.
Yeah, to Agent Coulson, which Agent Coulson's awesome. He can shoot people, but like, there's no reason why Captain America, either one of them, should be losing a fist fight to Agent Coulson.
All right, next we got Falcon. He is a 6/3 with flight with 1 wound. So we have 6/3. We have the Ajax stat line.
Right.
We have the reverse of Taskmaster stat line.
Yeah.
It's a really good aggressive stat line.
Yeah.
Our power is air superiority. Characters with flight can't strike Falcon.
This is really interesting.
Thor can't strike
him.
Dark Phoenix can't strike me. Foom can't strike me. Trying to think of like other super relevant flyers.
Jessica Jones
can't.
Miss America.
It's funny. Him and Taskmaster have to stare at each other.
Yep. They neither of them can strike each other.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a really good power, especially if your opponent is playing like a lot of like protector flyers that they need. You know. And it's really interesting that if your opponent's MC has flight, like you have a support character, he's just like whatever going on.
Come on.
So yeah, he's great.
He's not super, like, typically you want your flyers to be kind of defensive, and he's not super great on the defense.
Yeah, because like, he doesn't really stop Thor because he just gets bolted, right?
Yeah, he does. He is like an assassin for other flyers.
Yeah, that's true.
Unfortunately, some of the best ones in the comic universe have multiple wounds.
Yeah,
but or shrink.
Or shrink. So, but I mean, again, he's very aggressive. Yeah. And sometimes he's gonna stick around for a turn. Yeah. If anything, he like eats up one of your opponent's range attacks next turn. You know, like I don't hate him. Let's go on to McFury. McFury is a 3/5 with range. Fine stats. Kind of not like the best, but it's not bad. His ability though, the Avenger Initiative. Whenever you recruit another hero for the first time, hero being the team, you draw a card.
Yeah, first time each turn.
Each turn, yes. So
if you can find a way to recruit one on your opponent's turn, you would also draw a card. Listen,
that's actually good to know. I mean, I don't think it's going to be relevant for a while, but someday you never know. Maybe. You never know, man. So yeah, you play him. He's easy to protect because he's a range guy in the back row. Yeah. So if you can. I kind of feel like you might want to like off drop him, like be able to play him in a 1-drop just to get a little momentum out of it. Mm-hmm. But he's pretty good, and like he's one of those cards like Sullivan, right? Like if you can protect him to draw the first card, great. But then when you start drawing that second and third card, that's when you're like, this is awesome. This card advantage is great.
Yeah, drawing cards is good. It's good, kids.
All right, 4-drops. Should we do the dual affiliated one also?
Sure. Let me go grab that one. Okay. Listen, all 3 of these cards are like cuckoo bananas.
Cuckoo bananas. All right. We'll go left and right again. Iron Man, 4-drop. 5. So. He is his level 2.
Yep. Just with
5
less wounds.
With just much less wounds. Genius, billionaire, playboy,
philanthropist.
You know I can't talk.
I know. You can't spell either.
Yeah, well, it's a skill. It's not a good skill, though. Build. Pay a yellow. Do everything. I mean, I'm not wrong.
No, you're not.
You pay a yellow, draw a card, gain a resource point, put a +1/+1 counter on Iron Man, and then put a +1/+1 counter on another character. So, let's say we don't use that on turn 4. We play him on turn 4, turn 5 comes around. Yeah. We are going to pay a yellow. Yeah. We're going to be able to play a 6-drop this turn. Right. We're going to draw a card. Yep. we're going to put a +1/+1 counter on Iron Man, making him a 6/6.
Yep.
And then we're going to put a +1/+1 counter on, I don't know, maybe my MC.
Yeah. Listen, this card is 4 cards stacked on top of each other wearing a trench coat. Like, this card has so many words on it. This card does so many things. Even if you just play him on 4 and pay the yellow.
And maybe play the 1-drop.
Play your 1-drop,
with
yeah.
your MC.
Yeah. Like, oh my god.
So you're telling me that in my Thor deck, I want to play Iron Man,
Right.
pay a yellow, play Eric,
Yep.
draw a card,
Yep.
pump up my Iron, or pump up, if he's leveled, pump up my Thor, pump up my Iron Man.
Yep.
And
Then attack with your Thor.
and draw a card.
Yeah.
I'm sold. You had me at the first draw, and then you started like listing off all this other stuff.
I can't believe how many things that card says.
It's really, really sweet. Now we have a 4-drop Star-Lord who has the Taskmaster stat line.
Has
3/6, but
has
he
his
has
old stat line.
Oh, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But we lost leader.
We lost leader and we lost range, but we gained flight.
It's interesting.
Well, he does have
It's interesting he doesn't have gun. Like, he doesn't have range. Because he has guns. He is half Celestial. Star-Lord cannot be KO'd while a main character on your side is face up. Is face up on your side.
Yeah.
This power remains on while Star-Lord is face down. So his power doesn't turn off when he's wounded.
Yeah, symbiosis style.
So this is cool.
Yes.
I have a flying blocker.
Yeah.
Who, when you wound him,
Doesn't get wounded.
go away. He gets wounded, but he doesn't take KO, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, as long as my main character is back here just chilling, I guess it works on the offense too. As long as you have a good enough main character who's he's not going to get stunned on your turn, you just slam this guy into someone, take neutral stuns, and move on with our life.
He works offensively. He works defensively. There is at least one MC that he synergizes extremely well with.
Yeah. So that's a cool effect.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. Let's talk about Ultron for a second.
Yep. So, if you had maybe 1 or 2 or 3 Ultrons out,
you can't fight us all, man. You can't stun
So, you get through Star-Lord. He's now stunned. And you get through 1 Ultron. Let's even give you 2 Ultrons.
But you didn't get this one. So
he just comes back.
He's just chilling. He doesn't care. That's awesome.
It's amazing.
I'm not sure how well he works with some of the other MCs. How much it didn't feel like there was any other MC really that had a super survivability outside of
You don't believe in Bruce Banner?
Not really, man. Not really. Maybe Loki. He might be a good survivability with Loki because Loki wants to stay up and make it.
It actually might work well with Loki because if you have Loki up and you play this guy, maybe that's the push they need to actually play dudes face up.
Oh, that's a good point. And it's okay, well, either you start because my Star-Lord is going to be a 6/3 on the attack because of Trickster.
Yeah, because Trickster God works great with him if you've got half Celestial up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So he's an interesting character. Probably not playable. He's playable, but he's probably not your ideal choice as a 4-drop with all MCs. But there's definitely some some characters he's going to be really.
And he has synergies with Ego coming in the
he levels up Ego when it comes into play. Yeah. So, Winter Soldier. We have another dual. This is our second dual affiliated character.
Yep. Shout outs to Grant Ward.
Grant Ward. That's right.
Rip Grant Ward.
Rip. This guy is much better than Grant Ward. He's a 4-cost, 4/4 with range. Fine stats, I guess. He's less than Iron Man, but he's got 2 wounds.
Mm-hmm.
And he has one of my favorite keywords, Combat Master.
Combat Master's so good.
It
turns off dramatic entrance.
Listen,
it turns off think again.
This guy can team attack with anybody in this set.
Yes.
And he has Combat Mastery.
Yes.
That's all.
And 2 wounds.
That's all.
And range.
That's all I need.
He's great. Yeah, he's freaking great.
He'll definitely be a fun one to play. So we'll put him back over here since I came from your pile. Take these, and we are on 5. Let's go. We've got Gamora. We got War Machine. One of these cards
is better than the other one.
Listen, this card has a lot of potential, but one of these cards is much better than the other one. Gamora, 5 costs 5/5. So she's got the same stats as Iron Man.
Yeah.
Doesn't have fighter range.
Right.
But she has 2 wounds.
But she costs 1 more.
But she costs 1 more.
But her ceiling, oh my goodness.
So we've got Warrior. When Gamora stuns a enemy attacker, so when someone attacks under her and she stuns them, she gets 2+1/+1 counters.
Yeah.
Assassin. When Gamora stuns an enemy defender, put 2+1/+1 counters on her.
Yep. So she's like a hyper Carnage.
Yes.
Who doesn't keep her +1/+1 counters.
Yeah. I see Assassin having a lot more effect than Warrior.
Yeah.
It's going to be very rare that your opponent makes an attack that you're stunning them and they're not getting stunned.
Yeah.
Or you're not getting stunned and you're stunning them. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I do see a lot of worlds where you attack somebody and like maybe you attack down the curve just to get bigger. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, once you do get that first stun in, you're 7/7.
Yeah.
And then like, especially if you went first, there's not a lot of 5-drop 7/7s out there.
Yeah. There's a 4/7.
Yeah.
So we have War Machine. 4/7 flight and range. It's fine. Decent stance. Our blue ability is the big guns. During the main, you can pay a blue to KO a supporting character with attack less than War Machine's. So we need to like power him up.
Yeah.
We need to like get some +1/+1 counters on him. But then like in like a perfect world, you make this dude a 15 attack and you just pay a blue, get rid of, you know, paying a resource point and not having to attack to KO a multiple
it's
wound
really
character
good.
is really good.
Yeah.
It's just like there's not a lot of support in the set to get him there.
Yeah. One thing that is nice, one of the boogeymen of just the meta in general right now is Taskmaster, and he kills Taskmaster just generically.
Just comes in play, pays blue,
kills Taskmaster.
See you later, buddy.
So that's nice, but that's kind of like the ceiling without help. He does kind of synergize well with 4-drop Iron Man. So
okay,
like,
yeah,
because 4-drop Iron Man can give him another +1/+1 counter.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like support for him, but it's like, is it enough?
Right.
It's like, and it's, do you want to like put that much effort into a 1-wound character?
Yeah.
So I don't know. He could be great, and I just haven't like got to, because like we just got these, we haven't really got to play with them yet.
Yeah.
So it's like he could be great. I don't know.
It's just hard to see him being better than Gamora.
Yeah, just like on the surface, right?
Yeah.
6 drops. We have good old Drax. He no longer has grab.
No.
And we have Thor, which is like weird to me because like Illustrated Drax had grab because of the movie, right?
Yeah.
Because it was clever. It was funny.
But now that it's movie Drax,
you don't have the grab. That's where it came from, you know? We have a 6 cost 7/5, decent stats, 2 wounds. I love multiple wounds.
Yep.
Finger on throat means death. It's one of those lines that I forgot about until I read this card, and I was like remembering the scene. I was like, "Oh yeah, that actually was a good one. That was hilarious." When Drax wounds a supporting character in melee combat, KO it.
Yeah.
Not lethal,
but it is lethal, except for it's lethal plus.
Lethal plus. So if you give Drax a gun and he range attacks someone, we're not KOing them.
True.
But if we stay in the front row and we're fighting, we're KOing them. If they melee attack Drax, like maybe you have a flyer and they have to attack with their Foom. Foom gets stunned back, we're KOing it because that was a melee attack.
Yes.
I am willing to give up the range lethal for the defensive lethal because he doesn't have range.
Yeah, well, and as currently stands in the movie set, there's no way to give him ranged either.
Right.
So the fact that it doesn't work with ranged is kind of irrelevant until we get more photo cards.
But I think he's fine. I think he's great.
Yeah. He's solid. He's perfectly solid.
Anytime that you can like take care of multiple wound characters with
in just one shot is really good.
Is really good. Yeah. Thor 6/6 with 2 wounds. He is leader. This is apparently after he has become king.
Yeah.
So now he is a great leader. His power is the new king.
Yeah.
You pay a yellow, which I thought that was interesting that it was like the intellectual.
Mm-hmm.
You put a +1/+1 counter on Thor for each character he is protecting. So you got a bunch of guys with guns in the back row.
Yep.
Maybe 4.
Yeah.
Play our Thor.
He is now a 10-10.
Pay that yellow, he's a 10-10. That's not bad for a 6 cost. That's a 10-10 with 2 wounds.
True. It is a little awkward that he doesn't have flight.
Yeah, like you're protecting people, but you're not really protecting them.
None of the Thors in this set have flight because they're kind of playing off of Thor Ragnarok Thor, where he doesn't have his hammer anymore.
Okay.
But I don't know. I feel like giving Thor flight would have still been fine, and the fact that
listen, all I'm saying is Infinity Wars, he kind of felt like he had flight.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the MCU battles kind of covers everything up to Infinity War.
That's fair.
Because there's no art from Infinity War anywhere in the sets.
Yeah.
Because this set was coming out, like a month after Infinity War. There's no way they're going to be able to have that.
1 7-drop.
And what a 7-drop he is.
I don't hate him.
He's always limited by your imagination.
He is a 7/7, which are, let's go back to base set. Loki 7-drop and 7/7.
Yeah.
So the power has creeped a little bit since then. So 7/7 is not necessarily
the best 7-drop in the world.
best 7-drop in the world. But we have 3 wounds.
Now that power has creeped a little bit.
That is awesome.
That's a lot of wounds.
That enough. Let's blank this text out.
Yeah.
I'll play a 7/7/3. Hulk is like raging fire. Any combat, so on the offensive or defense, you can pay a green. Choose any number. Just any number.
Any number.
What number can you think of?
10 billion.
10 billion. Hulk gains that much. He becomes a 10 billion 7, 10 billion 7.
Yes. This combat.
It's only for the combat. I can fight anyone. You got a Jack Thor? Let's go.
Yep.
He's like Charlie 7 on steroids.
On steroids.
But here's the thing, because at first when I read this card, because it can be used on offense and defense, I was like, man, this guy's amazing. But realistically, let's just be realistic. Yeah. Is this guy? How often is 27/27 not enough?
Not often, but
it does happen.
There is one dude that we've mentioned multiple times already. His name's Thor, who can easily get to a 45.
Right, but if you're letting Thor get that much out of control, you've probably stunning Thor is probably the least of your problems because you have all kinds of other things you have to worry about.
Yes, but this card is at least able to combat that where most things can't.
Yeah.
At this point, before these cards came in, if you were dealing with a Thor that had 40 +1/+1 counters,
you had Dual Maul Leviathan, even the odds, and that was it, right?
Well, no, not Dual Maul. You had Leviathan Beast.
Okay, that's the
Leviathan Beast, even the odds, and Gorgon. Those are your 3 answers to that. We at least add something to that.
Because I'm just trying to because again, when I first saw this card, I was
Net Launcher,
all on board. Net Launcher
and Frank McGee and Dazzler.
See, there's cards. There are cards.
Wait, does Dazzler only do supporting characters?
I don't know, honestly.
I have not read Dazzler in quite some time.
It's been a minute. My real question is, though, is that small gap, that's a hardly ever happens situation, is that worth paying 6 more for a Charlie 27?
Maybe. Well, first of all, because we don't have a Charlie 27 otherwise in this.
That's fine.
Set.
That's fine. I understand that. I'm just trying to think
I mean, there's another 7-drop we will talk about here in a little bit.
Okay.
Whose ceiling is not as high, but whose
floor he's definitely more practical.
Is much higher as well.
So, I just don't know. I do like him. Do not misunderstand that. I'm just in my mind, I'm trying to grasp, is it worth the 6 more? I know you can't play them in the same decks, but is the value worth losing that Charlie 27 just to play this Hulk?
Here's my other argument for it.
Okay.
This is the Miss Marvel argument from Champions.
Okay.
So you attack into Hulk, and I've got cards in my hand.
Okay.
That's almost an impossible situation for you, because if I've got the green, whatever you throw at that Hulk is dying.
Yes.
If he had flight, which I don't know how you would justify giving Hulk flight other than he could just jump real high.
He's really, really high. That's how they gave Jessica Jones flight, just saying.
True. And I bet you Hulk can jump higher than Jessica Jones.
I don't know, man. Maybe. But she can jump real high.
She can jump real high. but this man is a giant green rage monster.
He's like a raging fire.
So like there is like defensively the ability, just because of the unpredictability of it, is much better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not for sure. That was my. I'm trying to like give a other side of the coin, like kind of perspective of it. So I'm not sure. So that's all of the hero support characters.
Yes.
So